Hi everyone, welcome to ANIM5110 Biology of Australian Marsupials. This is just a little infomercial to tell you a little bit about the unit, the structure of the unit, as well as a little bit of information about me. I am the primary coordinator. My name is Dr. Renee Furman, and the co-coordinator of this unit is Associate Professor Mandy Ridley. So just a little bit about me. I am currently an Australian Research Council Future Fellow. So primarily my job here at UWA is to do research, but I also participate in teaching and give lectures, as well as coordinating this unit. So I will be employed as a senior lecturer at the end of my fellowship next year. And I'm recognised to be the mammalian specialist within the School of Biological Sciences. However, my background is of a evolutionary ecology, of the evolutionary ecology field. So what I tend to do is sort of study mammals to test evolutionary theories, primarily to do with sexual selection, sociality and sex allocation. But always in my research, I try and have a focus of generating conservation-based outcomes. So I study native rodent species, Australian marsupial species, and I have quite a lot used house mice to test these evolutionary theories associated with sexual selection and sex allocation. And as you're probably aware, that house mice are quite a destructive invasive pest species. So some of my work does involve outcomes that, help to curb population growth and the detrimental impacts that house mice might have on the natural ecosystem. So I studied different aspects of mammalian behaviour and reproduction using a range of different approaches, which include field investigations, molecular techniques, and laboratory experiments. So here I am here in Karijini National Park, and in this place we study Western pebble mound mice. So the picture at the bottom is a young red kangaroo having a good sniff of a burrow entrance on a Western pebble mouse mound. So they're quite fascinating, those mice. But I have many projects on offer, not just on marsupials, but on native rodents. So if you're looking for a master's, honours or PhD project at any point, please do come and chat to me. So about the unit and just the unit expectations and learning outcomes. By the end of the unit, you should be able to explain the basic science and concepts related to marsupial biology. We would like you to understand the various techniques and equipment that is used in the field to study marsupials. You should be able to interpret self-generated data on a topic related to marsupial biology. And you should learn to work effectively and collaboratively in groups as well as as an individual in the pursuit of scientific knowledge related to marsupial biology. And of course, as always, we need to make sure that you can communicate outcomes to others relevant to this field. So a little bit about the way I have set up the LMS content for this unit. I work by a weekly tasks folder system. So basically, there is one overarching folder that you see on the tab on the left-hand side of the LMS platform. And within that, you will find all the material for the unit. So these will include lectures, practicals, and assessments, as well as any other information for the week. So just jumping into one of those folders, so if you clicked on week 5, you would then have this type of layout, which would have links for the lectures for that week. Sorry, specific folders for each lecture for that week. And then if you went into one of those lectures, you will then have a link to the lecture if it's an online lecture, as well as the PDF of the slides, any other material that might be associated with that lecture, and then also some reading material. So this is the schedule of lectures as it stands at the moment. Things may change, and if they do change, I will let you know as soon as possible. But otherwise, just refer to the lecture schedule in LMS to keep up to date on what is happening and what changes may have occurred. So as you will see, the lectures are either going to be delivered online only or face-to-face, and there is also potential at some point that may be an online live stream, but currently it's not looking likely for this year. So for this year, I'm actually away in week 1. So week 1 is going to have 2 online lectures. The first one will be delivered by Kevin from the West Australian Museum. So he is the curator of mammals at WAM. And then the second one is my first lecture on ancient survivors, so ancient marsupials. So I tend to try to, I've tried to get the guest lecturers to present at the 12 p.m. slot. So I probably should have said that everything happens on a Tuesday. So there's a 9 a.m. lecture, then a 12 p.m. lecture, and then there'll be a 2 p.m. practical if there's a practical on that day. So I've tried to get the guest lectures to present in the 12 p.m. slot as face-to-face lectures, because then that's the best way for you guys to be interacting with them and being able to ask them questions about the areas that they're lecturing in, which is their areas of expertise. So this isn't always the case. For example, Kenny's lecture is online, but in the case that a guest lecturer isn't presenting live, if you have any questions, please do ask me and I can get in touch with that person to find out the answer. One thing that you'll notice is we do have an overnight Dryandra trip, and at this stage that is scheduled for the 9th to the 10th of October, so that's a Monday to Tuesday. I am waiting on confirmation of that, but I'll let you know as soon as I know. So the practical sessions primarily involve, first of all, there'll be some ethics training. Some of you may have already done this ethics training, and if you've done it within the last 12 months, you won't need to repeat it. So when it comes to it and you're looking at the lab notes and you realise you've done it, just send me an email and let me know. But for everyone else, it is a requirement to do this training prior to the Dunnart personality practical. So just on that practical, basically the first half of the practicals of this this unit, I've kind of focused on developing your research skills. So working in small groups, we will be running personality assays with live animals, and hence the requirement to do the animal ethics training. And following that, we will be analysing the data that we get, and then you guys will be writing up a manuscript style report. So yes, I just wanted to kind of provide the basis of some research training in that element. We are also going to be running a camera trapping practical down at Harry Waring Marsupial Reserve. So that will involve an afternoon down there. We're again working in small groups and setting up camera traps. And then there will be you guys will be required to analyse the images that you capture a couple of weeks later, give a very informal brief presentation and submit a worksheet on the camera trapping prac. And then there is also the practical sessions will involve our conservation case studies, preparation and talks, which you'll learn more about later in the semester. But here again is this overnight Dryandra trip. So just a little bit more information on that. As I said, we have those tentative dates, which is the 9th to the 10th of October. So if you need to make arrangements with work or anything else, maybe start thinking about doing that now. The activities that we'll be doing at Barnamia is we'll be attending the nocturnal wildlife experience, where you get to not directly interact with wild marsupials, but have a very close encounter with some marsupial species. We'll do a bit of numbat spotting. We'll probably set up some more camera traps to see what animals are out there. We can do night spotlighting. We'll run through some field trapping techniques, and we'll run a session on radio tracking skills. So this is the group that went last year. Everyone had great fun. It's pretty hard and fast. We're not out there for long and we want to get a lot done. So just bear that in mind, that we're going to just be go, go, go. But it's lots of fun. So for this overnight stay, you will need to bring your dinner, but lunches and breakfast are provided. So in terms of dinner, it's going to be easier if you can just bring something that needs to be heated up. We will have full kitchen facilities, but because we will be attending the Barnamia Nocturnal tour, it might make it a little difficult to be preparing food in the evening. So there is a number of assessments as you go along. There is no final exam for this unit, but I do run 2 quizzes. So the first one is in week 6, just before the mid-semester break, and the second one is in week 12, so the last week of semester. These are multi-choice only and focused on the lecture content of the unit. There's a number of, or 2 major written assessment that you need to submit. So one is the write-up of the Dunnart practical, of our personality essays that we'll be doing with the Dunnarts. And the second one is a conservation case study report. There is also those case study talks that I talked about that you will present in groups. So that's assessed as well. And then there is a small assessment on a camera trapping worksheet. So that's following the camera trapping practical down at Harry Waring. So that's all I've got to say for now. If you have any questions, if you could please save them for week 2. I will be back in business at the end of week 1 and be able to answer your questions when I get back. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. See you.